Well, Dale Jarrett has a reputation as a person of character, of faith, of integrity, honesty. And when I started to do some research, I learned a lot about Dale. I watched Dale as a kid, and as a champion NASCAR race car driver, I felt like he could really not only help us with our the marketing and advertising of our company, but more so because of who he is as a person.
Growing up as a kid around the sport of NASCAR racing, it all seemed so normal. I didn't know that this was a life and a world that people from the outside looked at, and some maybe looked down on it, but many others looked at it as something that was very special. And it was a while before I really realized that what my dad did for a living in driving a race car was something totally different. There weren't that many people that did this for a living. A lot of people did it, as I learned, at local short tracks, just like here at Hickory Speedway.
Jarrett is a supply chain management company that has 4 main verticals. Our largest vertical is our logistics vertical, and in that vertical we provide supply chain management services through a managed transportation process. The second vertical is our transportation vertical. That vertical is made up of 4 divisions, and we focus in that vertical on transactional level of service in truckload, LTL, trucking, and also a TMS platform. And so the transactional truckload division under the transportation umbrella provides truckload brokerage. The LTL transactional division, Jarrett LTL, provides LTL brokerage. Our Jarrett Trucking division is a light asset trucking company that provides middle mile services that ultimately provide final mile services to our end customer. And then our TMS platform in the transactional vertical is called Right Routing. It's Right Routing by Jarrett, and it's a interactive TMS platform that allows customers to book their shipments themselves. The third vertical within Jarrett is our warehousing vertical, and in the warehousing vertical we provide warehousing, order fulfillment, pick, pack, and ship. We focus on B2B as well as B2C services through the warehousing. And our fourth vertical is our fleet services. Jarrett Fleet Services is based in Seville, Ohio, and we provide fleet maintenance, truck and trailer repair, sandblasting and painting. We have a truck wash.
I made a lot of good friends. Our family was together. We traveled together when we couldn't travel with my dad. It was my mom at home, and she made sure that we were in school, that we were doing our homework, and then if we were home, we were at church on Sunday. We were Christians, that God is what got us from day to day. And so that was instilled early on in my life, and continues to be here 64 years later.
We talk a lot about the 4 pillars of health, and that's really foundational. It's a model of leadership that comes from the Navy SEALs. The 4 pillars of health are spiritual fitness, emotional fitness, social fitness, and physical fitness. And we talk a lot about those pillars of health with our employees because they're foundational. They're the bedrock of all successful groups, all successful organizations.
Our families were so important to us in so many different ways. We had family businesses aside from racing that my grandfather had, and so the family aspect has been something that I've always lived with and around, and wouldn't have any idea what to do if we didn't have this tight-knit family, and we still have that. I was fortunate that my hero, my mentor, was in my household every day, and that was my dad. I didn't have to look far. He was never far away. He was always there to answer the questions that I needed answer. He knew when to kind of step back and let me learn on my own, and those, some of those times of learning were very difficult times, but I look at all of it now as a whole that, you know, I couldn't have been in a better position as in trying to search for who that person was that I could always count on, who I could trust the most, and that person to this day is my dad.
Jarrett is a family-owned company. My wife and I are the owners of the company, so there's no private equity involved. We are debt-free. You know, our revenues are approaching $150 million a year, which puts us in a very rare category for privately held, family-owned, third-party logistics companies, and I'm very proud of that.
Having people that you can trust around you is of utmost importance to me, and having that. You know, the racing world and the racing business is a difficult business even when it's at its very best. When you're winning races and you're winning championships, it's still a hard thing. You're giving up something. You're making sacrifices to be good at what you do. But you have the trust of your family to be there. And having that in the difficult times was the only reason I was able to be successful, because you have way more difficult times than what you do those times that you're kind of on top of the mountain. You know, I learned later on that not only was trust something that I could depend on with my family, but you put a huge amount of trust in the people that you work with in driving a race car. You know, these things go fast and they're dangerous. And strapping yourself in there to go 200 miles per hour, you're hoping that everybody has done their job. When you look in the record books and you look to 1999, you're going to see champion Dale Jarrett. What you don't see are the hundreds of people that it took to make all of that happen. It was a team effort, you know, and it started at the top with the car owner and Robert Yates, and, you know, the engine builder and his son Doug Yates, and it went down from, you know, crew chief Todd Parrott, and the list goes on and on with the number of people that it took to make all of that happen. So it was a team effort. I said, you know, if you put my name somewhere in there, you have to list the other people, because I was nothing without all of that happening. And if we're not all working on the same page, basically, then we're not going to accomplish, you know, what our end goal is. And that goal is to be the best that we can.
We couldn't have gotten to this point without our team. And because I think that people are the difference. And what makes that so successful, that formula, is the trust that we have between our people. They work together in a way that is above and beyond just a transactional relationship. We hire people not on their experience, but rather on their character, their integrity, their honesty, and their work ethic. Those are what we call the foundational skills. I like to say that, you know, you can train anyone on any position, but you can't train someone to be honest and hardworking. Our team, our employees, are the center point. We're people-centric and tech-enabled. What that means is we focus on our people. Our people make the difference. The relationships that our people have with each other and the relationships they have with our customers and our vendors really is what matters.
My goal wasn't to drive a race car to make a lot of money, but that was a good thing that came along with it. I was able to be successful and have that. Accumulating trophies, yeah, I mean, they sit around and collect dust now, but they were great to do. That was the driving motivation and force. But if you can't do all of that and then help others along the way, then you're really not doing this for the right reasons. My kids, I believe, go about things that way too in their life, and I'm appreciative that they, of the things that I was able to do, that's what they took from that, is that we're all striving to make better relationships, make better opportunities for ourselves and for others to make this a better world. I hope that people will remember most is that I had a passion to win, wanted to do that, but that I helped the sport of NASCAR to be better, and I helped the world to be a better place.
Our culture at Jarrett is based upon trust, and those relationships that we have. You know, when you have employees that do the right thing, do their job to the best of their ability, and show they care, they are engaging with our customers in a way that's a partnership. and the partnership is a two-way street. And the customers value what we do for them. We value having them as customers, and it means more to our employees to exceed expectations and provide a world-class service.
Jarrett, go with a name you can trust.